Good evening and welcome to the City of Helena City Commission meeting, October 3rd, 2022, 6 p.m. This meeting is called to order. Welcome and thank you for participating in the City of Helena City Commission meeting. We are pleased to be able to provide this alternative meeting format in the city's effort to broaden public participation. Please be patient as we may experience technical difficulties during the meeting. We welcome your public commentary. Please read the following tips and guidelines for the app usage and your participation. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Proclamation. We have a proclamation. City of Helena. Whereas the City of Helena, Montana is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our state. And whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fire caused 2,580 civilian deaths in the United States in 2020. According to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 356,500 home fires. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to the dangers in the event of fire in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. And whereas the City of Helena residents should be sure everyone in the home understands the sound of smoke alarms and know how to respond. And whereas the City of Helena residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas the City of Helena residents will make sure that smoke and carbon monoxide alarms meet the needs of all family members, including those in sensory and physical disabilities. And whereas the City of Helena first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fires injuries through prevention and protection fires, especially in protection education. Whereas the City of Helena, Montana residents are responsive to public education measures, are better able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2022 Fire Prevention Week theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, effectively serves to remind the City of Helena, Montana, it is important to have a home fire escape plan. And therefore be it resolved that I, Wilmot Collins, Mayor of the City of Helena, Montana, do hereby proclaim October 9th through the 15th, 2022 as Fire Prevention Week throughout this city. And I urge all the people of Helena to plan and practice a home fire escape for Fire Prevention Week 2022 and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of Montana Fire and Emergency Services. In witness whereof, I have also set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Helena, Montana to be affixed this 3rd day of October 2022. Wilma Collins, Mayor, Clerk of the Commission, Danae Claiborne. Who's going to be receiving this? Is that you, Chief? You, Floyd, you want to say a few
Thank you, sir.
words?
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll keep it brief. We're looking forward to Fire Prevention Week this year. Now that COVID is allowing us access back into our stations, we'll be doing lots of educational outreach opportunities, primarily to second grade age elementary students in Helena. And thank you again. I appreciate you reading the proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Board appointments. Oh, geez, yeah, I'm just rolling. Appreciate that. Madam Clerk, would you please?
City Attorney Doctor. Here. Interim City Manager Burton,
Here.
Commissioner Dean. Here. Commissioner Logan,
Here.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Here.
Mayor Collins.
Yeah,
And for the record, Commissioner Reed will be late tonight via Zoom.
thank you. Board appointments. I'm recommending the following board appointments. Building Board of Directors, appointment of Commissioner Sean Logan as the City Commission representative on the Building Board of Directors. Tourism Business Improvement District. Get to the mic. Appointment of Cindy Bikini to a first term of the Tourism Business Improvement District Board of Trustees as representative of owner or manager of a property in district. Term will begin upon appointment and expires on April 20th, 2026. Board of Adjustment. Appointment of Tim Tholt to a first term on the Board of Adjustment as a citizen representative. Term will begin upon appointment and expires on September 30th, 2024. City County Consolidated Planning Board. Appointment of Joseph Gilbert to his first term on the City County Consolidated Planning Board as the Joint City County appointee. Term will begin upon appointment and expire September 1st, 2025. Appointment of Gene Welburn to the first term on the City County Consolidated Planning Board as a city appointee. Term will begin upon appointment and expires on September 1st, 2020. Comments? Any comments from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, just
ahead.
really briefly, we haven't had an opportunity to discuss this at our regular commission meeting, but we have it in an administrative meeting. I'm wondering if the city manager can maybe just briefly explain the purpose of the building board, since this is going to be the first time that we've been appointing a commissioner for probably a decade. For the public's knowledge.
Yes, Mayor, Commissioners. The city and the county jointly own this building, and we also jointly own the law enforcement building, of which there's a structure and a rent system in place, but there are many improvements that need to take place at the law enforcement center, and there's ongoing maintenance activities in this building consistently. And in visiting with our county counterparts, we thought, let's get the building board back together. So at least the city and the county meet on a quarterly basis so that we can talk about short-term and long-term needs, and so that we can maintain the public's facility at the level that the public expects.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? Any public comments on this topic? I'll
Mr.
entertain-
Mayor, I have no public comments.
Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I will go ahead and move the appointment of the aforementioned individuals for the Building Board of Directors, Tourism Business Improvement District, Board of Adjustment, and the City County Consolidated Planning Board.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion from the commission? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Dean.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you remove the flag, please? Consent agenda claims. Director Danielson, are you? Go ahead, Commissioner.
Mayor,
Mr. Manager.
thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, I would recommend approval of the consent agenda.
Discussions from the commission? Is there any public comments?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment at this time.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I would move to approve consent agenda item A.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion from the commission? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed. Aye. Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Bid award project TSD-82 in the amount of $128,800 to Ace Electric for equipment upgrade at Jackson Street. Director, oh, well, okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Yes, I know your agenda says Director Kanopke, but we arm wrestled for the honor to present tonight. And as such, the honor is mine.
Yeah, we can tell you won.
So, bid award tonight for upgrades to the Jackson Street garage, specifically the gate arms and the mechanisms, the credit card readers, things like that. Over time, they're either damaged or vandalized. The credit card reader software sometimes gets a little glitchy and outdated. So this will be to upgrade and replace all of those pieces at Jackson Street Garage. So it was a request for bid was put out and advertised in the IR. We got one response from Ace Electric Inc. in the amount of $128,800. And so tonight we'll recommend to award Ace Electric for this bid.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Please.
Have we used this company for any of the other garages? And I'm just curious, given that we only had one response, I know that there's been a number of projects where there have not been many bids, and was that expected?
Sure. So Mayor and Commissioner Dean, it is my understanding that this company is the only one that does this in the US, I believe.
Oh,
For us, yeah.
any other comments or questions from the commission? Is there any public comment? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will move to award project number TSD-82 in the amount not to exceed the amount of $128,800 to the contractor Ace Electric Inc. for equipment upgrades to the Jackson Street parking garage.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussions from the commission? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed. Aye. Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Communications proposals from commissioners. What say you? Any comments? Move along. Report of the city attorney.
Mayor, Commissioners, I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Report of the interim city manager.
Mayor, Commissioners, just take this opportunity briefly to remind you that I'm going to be leaving to the Montana League of Cities and Towns Conference tomorrow afternoon. I'll return Friday afternoon. I will have my laptop and my phone with me. So I'll be available throughout the conference.
Roger that. Communications from Helena Citizens Council, Representative Andrew.
Good evening,
Good
Mayor
evening.
and Commissioners. I'll just mention a couple of things from our September 28th meeting. Our guest speaker was Kara Schneider from the Helena Affordable Housing Trust Fund, who gave us an overview of the trust fund. And she did focus on the fiscal year 2023 application process that actually kicks off today, and the amount that people can apply for is $2,043,000. So a sizable sum. I wish the city good luck in utilizing that. I should also mention that the deadline is November 17th for that application. The HCC has a committee that's reviewing our bylaws. We're focusing right at the moment on mostly the purpose statement and the guiding principles of HCC. Meeting by meeting, we're working through that. And I should also mention that each district is coming up with 4 major areas of concern, issues in their district that we're trying to prioritize for our outreach committee. So that's kind of a ongoing thing too. So that kind of sums up my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any comments from the commission?
Mr. Mayor, just one really briefly, Mr. Andrew.
Mr. Andrew.
So sorry before you walk away. Do you have a timeline as to when you all will have that list of priority issues for each district?
It's just starting to unfold. The presentation by Kara Snyder took the majority of the meeting, and then we started wordsmithing on our bylaws, and by then the time had run out. So we'll get into it more in the next one.
Okay, great. I am sure that the rest of the commission, I'd be very interested to see what comes of that discussion.
Yeah,
I know it varies from neighborhood to neighborhood, but
yeah,
some of those broader ones.
usually it's something we do in January when we first get new people on board and try to get a mission statement.
Great.
So
Thank you.
we'll keep you posted on what comes of it.
Thank you, Representative Andrew. Public hearings. Consider a resolution to sponsor Helena Food Share under the Cdbg Public and Community Facility Grant Program. Planner Ray, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Yes, tonight you're being asked to consider sponsorship for a Cdbg Public and Community Facilities Grant for Helena Food Share. If you're not familiar with this grant program, it's intended to serve low to moderate income households in the community to expand access to or create access where it's lacking for necessary services such as food pantries and food banks. I'm sure you're all familiar with Helena Food Share as one of the longstanding nonprofit organizations in our community. And you're probably aware of the fact that they've experienced exponential need in recent years, in no small part exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. What you might not be aware of unless you've visited them is that their current operations are scattered across 3 sites in the Helena Railroad TIF district. So what their proposal is for a 20,500 square foot facility that would be located on Boulder Avenue at the former Cared Property site. And this would house all of their operations in one space, and it would provide ample room for their current needs in the community, as well as their anticipated needs to address those who are experiencing food insecurity in the community. And actually not just within Helena, but they serve a tri-county area. So it's a broad cross section of the population in the region. Their proposal will cost approximately $8.2 million. The grant that they're seeking would be for $750,000, which is the max that you can receive through this grant program. So that constitutes about 9% of their overall project costs. And these funds would be dedicated toward the construction activities exclusively. If they're able to secure this grant funding and the remaining funds that they are also trying to get together through fundraising efforts, they will hopefully be able to break ground in the spring, early summer of 2023 and finish construction about a year later in 2024. I do just really quickly want to extend my thanks to Kara Snyder, the city's housing coordinator. I was able to hand off this project to her, and she's done great work in coordination with Bruce Day, the executive director of Helena Food Share, his staff, their board. So huge amount of thanks is owed to them in getting this application to where it is tonight for your presentation. And with that, I would like to recommend approval of a resolution authorizing the City of Helena to apply for a community development block grant for public and community facilities administered by the Montana Department of Commerce on behalf of Helena Food Share, and authorizing the city manager to execute any document necessary for the grant application and award. With that, I'm happy to take any questions. I know Bruce Day is present from Helena Food Share to answer any questions you may have of him, as are, I believe, others affiliated with the organization. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Ray. Comments or questions from the commission? Unless there is a pertinent issue, Mr. Day wants to tell the commission that we haven't heard, you have the floor, sir.
Mayor Collins and commissioners, thank you for the opportunity just to speak about the importance of this project to the Helena community and the greater Helena area. Helena Food Share has been serving the community since 1987. Since the year 2000, we've been located in our food pantry facility at 1616 Lewis Street. The need for food assistance in our community has grown, as Ellie mentioned, exponentially over those years. In fact, we're providing today 26 times the number of services we provided in the year 2000 from the same facility. We're serving 1,500 households each month with basic food assistance, providing 1,100 kid packs each week of the school year to kids in the Helena area, providing food specific to seniors and those who are homeless without housing. So a variety of different programs all being out of this facility. We've just come to the place where it's not adequate to meet the needs of Helena Food Share and our ability to serve the community. It's not adequate to meet the need in the community. And so I would just say that we're proposing this grant application, seeking this grant from the Community Development Block Grant as an important part of our attempt to put together a funding package to build a new facility for Helena Food Share and to find a way in which to have a facility in which all of our services are located under one roof. We can provide more food to more people in more adequate and appropriate ways. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Day. Any other public comments? Do you have any online?
I do have 2 online public comments, Mr. Mayor. Our first comes from Debbie Hooper, who says, quote, "I'm joining the commission meeting in support of Helena Food Share Grant. Thanks for your consideration."
Thank you. What's the second one?
Another from Amy Honchel saying, quote, "I am also here to show support for the Helena Food Share proposal."
Thank you. Any final comments from the commission? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I'd like to move to approve a resolution authorizing the city of Helena to apply for a community development block grant, CDBG, for the public and community facilities administered by the Montana Department of Commerce on behalf of the Helena Food Share, and authorizing the city manager to execute any document necessary for the grant application and award.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion?
Mr. Mayor, just briefly, really excited to support this today. I'd also just ask that if there are other ways that the city can be helpful as you move forward in getting this together, please, reach out, because it's clear the impact that that this organization has on the community. And I'd also just note that had it not been for the work of Helena Food Share, particularly during the pandemic for school kids whose lives were turned upside down, and those who are most often they're the most heavily impacted when there's this kind of disruption. I know from experience of many of my teacher peers and students how impactful that was. So very grateful for your work and really excited to support this project.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments from the commission? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, there are 2 more public comments, if I could interject. From Steve Fawcett, quote, "I am also here to support the important project." And Callie Dale Ramos, quote, "We are also here to support the Helena Food Shares proposal."
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Okay. Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Consider the acceptance of ARPA. Oh, sorry. Consider the acceptance of, that's all we've been talking about, ARPA, so everything looks like ARPA to me now. Consider the acceptance of Arpmontana Community Ambassador Mini Grant. Grant Administration, you have the floor, Ms. Opitz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Before you this evening is a $1,000 grant from AARP Montana. This proposal was carried by Executive Council member Lorraine Wadnick, and we're very grateful to her for doing so. This $1,000 will go towards the purchase and installation of a wheelchair charging station that will be located at the Law and Justice Center. Staff does recommend approval of this grant award. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the commission?
I did have one question. I'm so sorry. Is this going to be accessible for folks who are maybe around downtown and need a charge, but aren't necessarily engaging in activities at the Law and Justice Center?
Yes.
Okay.
All city buildings, of course, are accessible to the public. We do have a similar charging station in this building that's also in the lobby that's available for folks to use if they would like. And those would be accessible to anyone who needs them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ms. Mayor, Ms. Opitz, thank you very much. Will this charging station be outside or inside?
I don't know if a specific location has been identified yet. I'll be working with Facility Superintendent Troy Sampson on figuring out the exact location. As one of the stipulations related to the acceptance of this award is that we would identify that it had been purchased through this grant and identify AARP as the funder of that grant. So we'll need to make sure wherever we have it, that it would be available to have that plaque connected to it and appropriate power supplied to it.
You bet. Thank you. Any other comments? Do you have any public comments?
Mr. Mayor, I have no further comment on this time.
I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, you can go. All right. Mr. Mayor, I'll move to accept the AARP Montana Community Ambassador Mini Grant in the amount of $1,000.
Second.
It's been moving, seconded by everybody. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Ms. Opitz. At this time, is there anyone from the public wishes to address the commission? Do we have any online?
No public comment at this time.
Do we have any final comments from the commission? This meeting is adjourned.